Hey everybody, Alex here, out of the Park 21 Pittsburgh Pirates franchise, episode number 37. We have just gone past the 2024 trade deadline, so of course wanted to check back in because we have a whole lot to talk about in today's episode. As you can see, the Pirates are we're hanging in there, 55 and 52 overall, 3.5 games out of the Central, very tightly contested Central race so far, in just 1.5 games out of that second wild card spot currently occupied by the Chicago Cubs. Will take on the Brewers today in a pretty pivotal matchup. But before we do that, I do want to kind of check back in on this team. And we had a very busy trade deadline, and we're selling a lot of pieces while still hopefully trying to remain competitive. You can see the MLB standings here, and check out Ernie Ordonez leading the National League and tied for the Major League record right now in home runs for the season with 35 of them. He is having just an outstanding season, hitting 273, already a 3-WAR season. So he's been excellent, really bouncing back from a 2023 season that was still 40 home runs, hard, nothing to sneeze at, but was not quite as good. You know, numbers in every category have gone up by leaps and bounds, and he could have the record for the major leagues by the end of the season because he's tied with Gleyber Torres, who is currently injured with a strained hamstring. So he'll be in the race the rest of the way. But I do want to talk about the 3 players we've traded and what we got in return. As I basically cemented in the last video, if you guys remember, Nick Castellanos was going to be dealt. We signed him essentially with the sole express purpose to trade him when it came to the deadline. And so he is now a member of the Cleveland Indians and is doing really well over there in Cleveland, hitting 297 in 24 starts, OPS plus of 140. Did pretty well for us, and that helped secure his value, and we dealt him for, let me scroll down and remember what we got back. It was a major deal. They always made me throw in extra pieces. I hate trying to do so many of the quality or quantity type guys where we traded, 5 different guys just to get the one player, but we got back the guy we'll watch today for the Pirates is Carlos Vargas. My main goal was I wanted to get back some starting pitching, and to me, this Vargas guy was someone who had a lot of potential with Cleveland. Had only come up last year briefly out of the pen, had done really well for them in AAA, and now he's with us after a brief start in the minor league system. He's come up and has made 3 starts with a 1.69 ERA. That BABIP is really low at 115. That's not going to hold, but he's a power pitcher, which fits our mold. 3 great pitches: the fastball, the cutter, and the slider. The control's a little bit low, but and the stamina is low as well, and that's an issue we'll talk about here in a second. But he's a strikeout guy, a really hard-throwing righty, 24 years old, cheap, under team control for a while, and so I was excited to get Carlos Vargas. And just quickly going through the other players we gave up in the Castellanos deal. Just a lot of guys. I was just trying to make it work. There's a shortstop that's pretty good defensively. We got a lot of those good glove shortstops. Andrew Abbott was a former pretty high draft pick of ours. He was taken in the 3rd round back in 2020, our first draft, but just never really panned out. Those arms are always unpredictable. Also gave away Matthew Corlew, a first baseman, outfielder type of guy, decent, but quad A guy at best case scenario, and this catcher Rojas as well, who just was an add-in that they seemed to like, I think, a lot more than I did. So those were the terms of the deal to get Carlos Vargas. And then we traded away 2 starting pitchers because they were guys that we weren't going to have in our long-term plans, and that included Adrian Houser, who we acquired from the Blue Jays at last year's deadline as we were making our playoff push. Didn't quite work out. Houser at least was beginning to settle in for us. That ERA does look pretty ugly at 5.1 and 20 starts for the Pirates, but he was getting better as the season went along, and still decent production, a ground ball pitcher, and so that was good. Kept some of those numbers down. Really good control overall, and so we gave him to the Phillies, who need these players. By the way, I try to make these trades as realistic as possible. So if we look at the Indians, for example, they're in contention. They're first place in the Central. They needed some right field help. Actually have Castellanos as the DH right now, which probably works just as well. He's not very good in the field, but I always try to manually do these deals, so I'm giving away players to contenders, and I'm not giving them away to some team like the Twins, who clearly are not going to be buying at a time like this. But Houser with the Phillies, they needed starting pitching. They were struggling there. He's not looked too good in his 2 starts so far, but we'll see if he's able to turn things around the rest of the way. In return, we got back 2 middling prospects, I would say this is the better prospect ranking-wise. Alex Terrell, who's a DH first baseman, a little bit of outfield type of guy with some good power, fly ball hitter. The avoid Ks is lower than what I would like it to be, but in AAA, he was having a pretty good season, so some depth there at first base in case we have an injury to Ordonez, who's been so valuable for us this year, and also got back Cesar Rodriguez, a catcher, decent defensively behind the plate, and then just, good eye and avoid K. And the thing that I'm kind of come to the conclusion on for catchers is I want my catchers to do two things. One, be good defensively, be good behind the plate and help my pitchers out. That's most important. And then two, just get on base. Just kind of the old Moneyball strategy, because catchers don't sim well in this game. They're so unpredictable. But usually the most consistent and reliable stat here is the eye discipline and avoid K. So someone that'll get on base at a good clip, even if their average is poor, their on base percentage, if it's well over 300, you take it, good defensively. And that's kind of how I envision Rodriguez. I'm getting a little frustrated with Trace Barrera. He might not be on the team for a whole lot longer, I should say. And so just 23 years old. He's down in high A ball right now, but he'd probably be in double A by the end of the season. And again, just to go back really quickly, again, I try to make these trades as realistic as possible. The Phillies were 10th in starters ERA, so I felt like they needed a pitcher, and now they have one. Finally, this was the big one, and I was pleasantly surprised I was able to deal him because I didn't think it was going to happen. Joe Musgrove, no longer a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is with the Toronto Blue Jays. I just was messing around with the trade options one day, and he had done, I guess, just well enough for a team to want to take a chance on Musgrove, and that's the Blue Jays, and he's been excellent in his 2 outings with them so far. Just 1.5 ERA in 2 starts. We ended up giving up another shortstop as well as a little add-in, just again, defensive guy, not worried about losing him too much. And we got back a guy I really liked, and I think I'd mentioned this in a previous video on this channel, that I really like Chris Snedeger when he came out of the draft, and he got drafted in the 2nd round back in 2022, and I was really bummed that I missed out on him. And so now I finally get a chance to get him back, or get him in my organization in the first place. And so hopefully it will work out. That slider still needs some work to really have 2 strong pitches, but power pitcher, high work ethic, 23, has done a really nice job for us in A-ball with Greensboro right now, just really been killing it. And he was doing the same with Toronto as well. Yeah, he was 19 appearances, 21 innings, a .43 ERA, .81 whip, and just crazy numbers here. So I was surprised to get Snedeker for just Joe Musgrove. Throws 100-mile-an-hour fastball, so I'm excited to have him in the bullpen arsenal. Not for right now, but I think maybe even as early as next season, if he continues to grow and that slider gets a little bit better, I think we'll have something there with Chris Snedeker. And again, Toronto, they're in the mix, 59 and 48. And let's see, their starting pitching, they were first, but they were looking for an extra arm because they've had some really good seasons from Pearson and this guy Hogan, a draft pick, but they were looking for somebody else because they needed like a 5th arm, and they've had some injuries at the position as well. So they had a really good starting pitching rotation, but they were just trying to add that maybe extra missing piece to round out the rotation for the rest of the year. So that's why this trade made sense to send Musgrove to Toronto. All right, hopefully that didn't run too long, and I do want to talk about how the team has done since our last video and kind of go through the lineups here quickly. Jonah Heim's having a heck of a season, more walks and strikeouts, on base percentage of over 400. Really excited with that, and again, it goes back to my mindset of that, I and avoid K usually the most reliable thing, but even then, I mean, the numbers aren't so good that you would expect these results, but he's always been someone who's gotten on base, and why I've liked him for such a long time. Speaking of which, Taylor Wall is another crazy season, 420 on base percentage, 140 OPS plus. He's been fantastic for us at the plate. Key Brian Hayes having a decent season. It's never been fantastic, but better than where he was last year, so happy to see that overall. As I mentioned, Ordonez is just absolutely killing the baseball right now, and Brian Reynolds has bounced back after kind of slumping. I think during our last video, average was in the 220s, 230s. It's back up to 265, and right now sitting at 1.2 WAR. Called up one of our top prospects, Chase Davis, to replace Castellanos in right field. That's one reason why I wanted to deal Castellanos, was give a look at some of these younger guys that I drafted. He was a former 2nd-round pick of ours back in our first draft in 2020. He's hitting .303 right now with 3 home runs, so very excited to see that. Cole Tucker at shortstop. 246. It's kind of been a tough season for Tucker. He's dealt with some injuries, and Enrique Bradfield has cooled down quite a bit, but still having a pretty good season. And in the field, he's been excellent with a 9.6 zone rating. Brief overview of the pitching staff and Mitch Keller. It's been not great for Mitch Keller. He is coming off a couple of decent outings, but had some rough ones as well. The Ks are way down, the walks are up, and just worried about him going forward, so we'll keep an eye on that as he comes back from that torn flexor tendon. Got back Junior Mises, who got hurt in spring training, was on the 60-day DL, but he's returned, looked good in his first start back. JJ Goss is really, I think, settled in. Hopefully it's a number 2, number 3 option for us. He's been our best starting pitcher of this season. And Gage Haynes has settled in as well and improved as the season's gone along. In the bullpen, we did hold on to Brett a week. I thought about trading him, but couldn't find an offer that worked well enough, so we'll hold on the week for at least the rest of this regular season. He's arbitration eligible, so he could get dealt in the offseason. Will Klein has been, I think, still pretty good. I think the numbers, the ERA is not quite as good as the season he's having. I think he's been better than what that number indicates. And the rest of the bullpen has been, decent to pretty good. Jackson Carr has been excellent, and Gabe Spear is back after an injury. Should mention from an injury standpoint, just one to note right now, Jordan Wogu is on rehab assignment after suffering, I think, an elbow injury, a sprained elbow back on the 6th and missed a couple of weeks, so he'll be back, not in this video, but for the next one. All right, take a look at opening lineups here against the Milwaukee Brewers, who are fading fast in this NL Central race, so they're going to need a victory today. Looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates lineups, it's Enrique Bradfield leading off Kevin Newman, who's kind of become more of a bench guy. He's really struggled this year, but he's better versus lefties than righties, so he'll get the start at second base. Followed by Ke'Bryan Hayes, Ernie Ordonez, Chase Davis, Lolo Sanchez in left because Reynolds is terrible versus lefties. Cole Tucker at short and Trace Barrera behind the plate at catcher with Carlos Vargas on the hill. And for Milwaukee, and some pretty familiar names, Yelich and Bohm. I played a game yesterday versus Milwaukee off camera, and Bohm hit a big 3-run home run against me, although we ultimately won that game. Check out Joey Gallo's season. One of the worst I've ever seen in this game. His regression has been so weird, and where he's regressed in contact and avoid Ks. Hitting 106 this year with 18 home runs, a negative 2.2 WAR, 39 OPS plus. Just a crazy season. He could have one of the worst WARs ever. I think the record's somewhere around negative 4. These are some, Chris Davis kind of numbers he's putting up right now. Just ridiculous numbers. The strikeout rate, I don't mean to get off script here, but it's really wild. Where is his number for the season? I don't know where it's at exactly, but it's like 42% he's striking out right now. 45% versus lefties, 46% I should say, and 41% versus righties. So really crazy season for Joey Gallo. We'll see what he does against us today. And on the hill for the Brew Crew is Matthew Boyd with really low movement, but a good ERA overall. And he's been holding his own, so we'll try to get after Matthew Boyd. We'll take you out to PNC Park for first pitch. All right, Brandon Marsh leading things off for Milwaukee to face Carlos Vargas. I want to say I played against the Brews in my last video. If I did, I apologize for that, but I wanted to show you guys Vargas, and I wanted to do a video right after the trade deadline ended. So that's why I chose this game, as Marsh will hit that deep in the hole to short, and no throw even attempted from Tucker. So it'll be an infield single to start things off for the speedy Marsh, who has 19 stolen bases on the season. Now facing Garcia on a 2-1 count, and that one hit sharply to Tucker, and the Pirates cannot turn 2. I am shocked by that one. Felt like there was a really good chance to get it, but Marsh did a good job evidently of breaking it up, and Newman just not been a great year for him. Don't think he's coming back for next season. As Yelich will hit that out near the gap, Bradfield will cut it off, and nice job there to keep the runner at bay at second. But Newman, I think he's got a $10 million arbitration estimate for this upcoming season, and I just can't justify that. So days potentially numbered for team captain Kevin Newman, as Bohm will loft that in the air. Pretty shallow. Bradfield coming in. Should he be able to hold the runner? He will throw to third, and not in time as the runner tests with 2 outs. Bit of a gamble there. But he is in safely. Gallo, though, by the way, I should mention, threw me out twice at home plate yesterday, so I'm not going to run on Joey Gallo, who was playing center field, no less, and still threw me out twice. But anyway, so runners on the corners, 2 outs. Vargas trying to get out of this inning cleanly. Full count payoff pitch to Nolan Jones, and he will walk him. Bases are loaded for Joey Gallo. It's either home run or strikeout is the way he's gone. A true outcome kind of player. 1-2 count. And Gallo strikes out at that 40-something% clip. And Vargas leaves him loaded, leaves those Brewers stranded as we go bottom first. Boyd facing Bradfield. And Bradfield definitely cooled off after a really hot, first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. But still have a lot of faith in him. Newman I have less faith in, although he'll rip a double down the third base line. So Kevin Newman, starting him versus lefties. And he's in there with a stand-up double. So good job there. Ke'Bryan Hayes hitting .275 on the year. And he will poke that up the middle. Newman will advance, so at least a productive out. As the runner, Newman will go to third for Ordonez. Great power versus lefties. And that one's going to get away. Newman's going to come in, and he is going to be safe to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead. 2-0 count facing Ordonez. Dangerous count if you're Boyd with that low movement. Now it's 3-1. And Ordonez cracks that to left. I thought that had a chance. It's still going back. It is gone. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. Hard to gauge that one. As off the crack of the bat, I thought it was gone. Then I thought it was going to be caught. And then it was gone out to left field, where it's pretty shallow out there near those bleachers. 385, number 36 for Ordonez, and that should give him the major league lead in home runs. So that is the power of Ordonez. As Boyd will face Davis and strike him out swinging on the slider. But the Pirates get 2, and they lead 2-0. Other issue for this team I should have mentioned was because a lot of our starting pitching has low stamina, as that one's hit into left, Sanchez camping under it, makes the catch route number 1. Because those starting pitchers have low stamina, it's really taxed our bullpen. And we've had to carry extra guys in the pen. You see these guys pretty tired today. And so that's been one issue for this team because someone like Vargas has only 40 stamina. Keller has, 35 stamina and so on. So that's been one issue for this team right now. As Vargas will quickly retire the first 2 Brewers. Now facing Boyd, the pitcher, 074, just 2 hits on the season, 1-2 count. And Boyd will strike out, but he'll get past Barrera. And not in time. Wow, that one hurts a lot. Strike out Boyd, but he's able to reach base. And again, with these low stamina pitchers, you don't want to waste those outs. Now facing March, who had an infield single his first time, as he will throw on the second to Newman. And the error, or whatever you want to call it there, on the strikeout, Boyd does not cost Pittsburgh. And they still lead 2-0 as we go bottom 2. 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Pirates, starting off with left fielder Lolo Sanchez, enjoying a nice season overall for him. Got that average up as he'll rip that into the gap and continue that nice season with a double. Will he think 3? Sanchez will hold at second with a leadoff double, replacing Reynolds for the platoon guy at this point for Cole Tucker, trying to get a season going. Full count payoff pitch, and he'll work the walk. Good eye there from Cole Tucker. Now facing Barrera, who had a blistering start to the year and has cooled down a lot since then. Runners in scoring position, though. 1-1 count. And Barrera hits that pretty well to center. Marsh going back at the track and makes the catch, but the runner, Sanchez, will advance to third. That'll put runners on the corners with 1 away for the pitcher, Vargas. Just trying to put this one in play and stay out of the double play. 1-0 count, and that it might be double play material, and it will be. And so the Pirates leave a couple on base, but still lead 2-0. Garcia leading things off for Milwaukee in a bit of a cold streak here, hitting .247 on the year. 2-2 count from Vargas, and he'll strike out. Vargas showing a lot of Ks here this season. It's 3 already for him today. 1-2 to Yelich. And he'll strike him out swinging as well. Vargas, number 4 for him. Now facing Bohm. 1-0 count. Base is empty. 2 outs. And Bohm will hit that softly to left. Sanchez coming in and makes the catch. So Vargas sets down the side in order. We'll go bottom 3. No, the new game for Out of the Park is coming out in a couple of weeks as Bradfield strikes out. I believe the trailer will come out on Friday. I saw one screen grab today that showed some updated graphics that look pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to buy the game. I've generally bought it every other year, but you guys tell me what you think I should do. I know I can import the new season if I wanted to from 21 to 22. As Brian Hayes comes up 2 outs, base is empty. That went outside, and Hayes is able to pull it past the shortstop, so a 2-out single for Brian Hayes. Nice job there for Ordonez. Well, they pitch around him after that deep shot to left, his first at bat. And Ordonez hits that to short. Throw on to second, and we'll head top 4. Pirates still lead Milwaukee 2-0. Jones, Gallo, and Navarez coming up for Milwaukee in this inning. Vargas' pitch count sits at 52. That'll rise a bit here on the full count, as that'll be a walk to Vargas, or to Jones, I should say. I apologize. Now facing Gallo. 0-2 to Joey Gallo, and he hits him on the 0-2 count. And so Vargas in some trouble here for really the first time today. And we're trying to get at least 4 or 5 innings out of him. If you want to look at some bullpen options, I'll get Trey Riley moving around in case. Facing Navarez, the catcher, full count. Vargas losing control here as that one's going to bloop in to left center. And the runner will hold. And so Milwaukee threatening heavily, bases loaded, nobody out for Barreto, the second baseman. As we're going to go out there and talk to Vargas, try to calm him down a bit, the young guy. Really his first true opportunity in the big leagues, especially as a starting pitcher. As Barreto, the second baseman, will hit that to first. Ordonez going back will make the catch. Fans happy about that one for the first out. As Matthew Boyd will stay in the game. Interesting decision there for Milwaukee. Could they have pinch hit for him with such a great opportunity? But the focus for Pittsburgh right now is just not letting him put this ball in play. 2-2 count to Boyd, and he will look at strike 3. So Vargas 1 out away from dancing out of trouble, but he'll need to record the out of Brandon Marsh as that pitch count started at 52 this inning, and it's up to 75 right now. 2-2 count to Marsh. And that one hit to right. It is going to fall in at the feet of Davis, and the Brewers are going to tie this game up at 2. Davis's throw not in time, and that one hurts. Vargas close to getting out of this one. He'll get one more opportunity facing Garcia, and we'll just pitch to him here and see what happens. As that one's going to get down as well. Milwaukee's going to take a 3-2 lead. As that throw actually might be in time. I spoke too soon. Great job there by Bradfield. I didn't give him enough credit for the arm. And so the Brewers tie the game, but they do not take the lead. And so we are tied at 2, heading bottom 4. That is going to be it, though, for Carlos Vargas at 85 pitches. That's about his max. And so let me figure out who I want to get warmed up here for the 5th inning. Jackson Kowar will come in, top of the 5th for the Pirates to face the meat of Milwaukee's order, as Chase Davis will lead things off, hit a dribbler right in front of the catcher, and the throw not in time. Infield hit there for Chase Davis with great speed on the base paths, but we won't steal with Boyd's good hold runner rating. Sanchez coming up here to bat for Pittsburgh, hit a double in the left center his first time up. Full count payoff pitch, and Sanchez double play. He's going to hit into, yes he will. And the Pirates erase their lead runner. 2 outs, nobody on for Cole Tucker. 0-1 count. That one outside, rolls past Boyd. Shortstop has to come in and try to make the play. No throw, and so Tucker, another infield single this inning for Pittsburgh. As Barrera will just go ahead and swing the bat here. 2-2 count. And Barrera, that one's going to get past shortstop and into left field as Tucker takes a wide turn but smartly holds. And so the Pirates threatening, trying to take the lead. And we'll have to go to the bench, try to find someone who can hit lefties. Probably going to be Tyler Frank up right now till Wogu is back and healthy. Frank's yet to start a game this season, but hitting .450 as a pinch hitter. Had a big pinch hit opportunity yesterday that happened off camera. We'll try to do that again here. This is a full count payoff pitch from Boyd. And Frank hits that weak lead to short, and the throw in time So the Brewers will keep this game knotted at 2 as we go top 5. And Jackson Kowar will come in for your Bucks to face Yelich, Bohm, and Jones. 2-1 count. Kowar, ERA under 2 to start this year. Although, nice job there to start things off for Yelich with an infield single, I think. Oh, the game's going to get weird. There's an error. Oh, Bradfield did not play that well, and so Yelich actually will end up at second. Not too often you see Bradfield make an error, especially on something that seemed so routine. So Pirates putting themselves in a tough spot here these last couple of innings. As that one hit too short, that's going to hold Yelich, and so that's a big out number 1. Tucker throwing onto Ordonez. Nolan Jones coming up here for Milwaukee. 3-1 count, and Kowar loses him with the walk. Now facing Gallo. He's got to be due at some point. He has not had any success, but we'll see what happens. Full count. And Gallo strikes out swinging 3 times today for Gallo. That's the way his season has gone. So 2 outs, 2 on. And Kowar getting a bit tired. I do want to get somebody warmed up in case, because he did not come in with full stamina today. And his control's been an issue. 2-0. That one not well placed, but nice job there to get the out. Ordonez steps on the bag and will head bottom 5. Still tied at 2. That will be it for Jackson Kowar. As Bradfield leading things off for the Pirates. That error he had did not cost him, but he could not make up for it at the plate, as he will ground out for the first out of the inning. Chris Clark will come in facing bottom of the order for the top of the 6th. Full count to Kevin Newman, and Newman's having a nice day at the plate with a single, and I believe he had a double in this game as well. Now with Key Brian Hayes. Boyd still in the game, 75 pitches, settled down after a tough start, although he has allowed 8 hits so far. And will that be 9? It will not. As a nice job there to glove it by the shortstop Garcia. And now Boyd will face Ordonez, who took him deep earlier in the game. And Ordonez rolls over that one. Brewers will get out of it, and we'll head top 6, still tied at 2. And Chris Clark will come in for Pittsburgh to face the bottom of the order for Milwaukee. Clark, the extreme fly ball tendency has been a bit of an issue, as that one will get to the wall out there in right field, and that is going to be a leadoff double for Barreto, and I assume Boyd will get replaced right now, and he will not. He will stay in the game. Will this be a bunt situation? You would suspect it would be, and he will lay down the bunt as that one hit back to Clark, who throws on the first. Runner will advance, so productive out for the Brewers. Just 5 pitches in, already a man on third, 1 out in this tied 2-2 ball game. Facing Brandon Marsh, the center fielder, who is 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs today. Infield is in, and not going to matter as that one's hit the center. Bradfield makes a diving catch, but the runner will tag, and this time he will score. I'll make sure he actually scores before I say what the outcome is. But Milwaukee takes a 3-2 lead. Facing Garcia with 2 outs, nobody on. And Garcia to right. Going over is Davis. No, Bradfield will call him off, make the catch. And the Brewers do take the lead 3-2, heading bottom 6. Shift is on, facing Chase Davis on a 2-2 count, as he will strike out swinging. Boyd staying in the game, settling in pretty nicely. Sanchez, 2-2 count. He'll strike out swinging just like Davis. So quickly 2 gone for Pittsburgh, as Jimenez will come in to relieve Boyd, who officially goes 5 2/3, allowed just 2 earned and danced out of plenty of trouble. He'll face Cole Tucker, has worked a walk today, and has a single as well, as Tucker will fly out to center, and so Pirates go 1-2-3, will head top 7. Chris Clark staying in, but facing a dangerous part of the lineup, and he does allow a fair amount of home runs, Clark does, so we'll see what happens. Full count to Yelich, as that one hit hard to second. Newman throws to first for out number 1. Now facing Bohm, who has 20 home runs this season, but down in the count 0-2. And he will strike out swinging on the cutter at 91 miles an hour to face Nolan Jones. 1-2 count. Really nice inning from Chris Clark. Struck out the side in order. And we'll go bottom 7. That's going to be it, though, for Chris Clark. As Barrera will come in to face Jimenez. And hit that pretty well to center. Marsh going back, but makes the catch for out number 1. We'll go ahead and bring in, let's try Brian Reynolds facing the righty here, as I need to get a bullpen arm warmed up to replace Clark. Not a lot of great options here, unfortunately. I'll go with Trey Riley, kind of our long relief guy, but best stamina of the lot right now, as Reynolds on a full count. And that one would have been ball 4. He chased it, popped up, and caught by the shortstop Garcia. Now facing Bradfield, top of the order, 1-2 count. And he'll strike out. Tough day for Bradfield in the field and at the plate. We'll head to the 8th. Brewers still up a run. Really like to get a victory today, as Riley's going to face Gallo on the full count. Payoff pitch to Joey Gallo. And he will draw the walk. That's the one thing Gallo's done okay this year, has been to draw walks. Now facing Navarez, the catcher. And that one hit pretty well to the gap. That's going to be extra bases for Navarez. Will Gallo come in to score? Has a chance to do it, and he will hold at third. But a double from Navarez that puts runners on second and third with nobody out, as the pen's going to get active with David Bednar facing Barreto, the second baseman for Milwaukee. Infield playing in, and that one's going to be past Hayes. That could be extra bases as well, as 1 run and 2 runs will come in to score for Milwaukee. They'll extend their lead 5-2, as that'll be a double to Barreto. And Riley, if he wasn't a Rule 5 guy and I had to keep him, he might be somewhere else right now. So should I release him, we'll see, as Kesson Herrera had a day off initially, but he's going to come off the bench here, hitting .267, 15 home runs this year. 0-2 count. And he'll look at strike number 3. Now facing Marsh, as Riley trying to limit the damage, but a 3-0 count will not help, and he'll walk Marsh on 4 straight pitches. Go out there and talk to him. I don't know how good he really is feeling right now, but our bullpen's in a tough spot. I'm going to put Bednar in. See what happens here. Bednar, the real-life Pirate now, as that one hit the third. A chance to turn 2, and the Pirates do it. A big couple of outs right there. And the Pirates, though, are now down by 3 as we go bottom 8 to face Zach Brown, having a nice season. Good Ks over 9. Looks like right around 9 or so. Now to face Kevin Newman, as the Pirates will need some late-inning magic after building a 2-0 lead. Are now down 5-2. That one hit pretty well to right center, but in play and caught by Marsh. Now facing Ke'Bryan Hayes. 2-0 count to the Pirates' third baseman. And that one hit pretty quietly. Will Hayes beat it out? He will. So the Pirates starting something here. As do I want to try to run? Probably not, because it's a 3-run game. What's really the big point? We'll have Ordonez swing the bat here. 1-1 count. And Ordonez, that's going to be in foul territory and caught by the third baseman, Jones. Now with Chase Davis, who is 1 for 3 today. 0-2 count. And that one hit weakly to first. Step on the bag for the third out, and we'll go bottom 8 as Bednar will stay in. Hopefully get a couple of quick outs here. He only threw 1 pitch that last time, which was good to see, as Will Klein will get going in case. Full count, though. We'll run that pitch count up, and that one hit softly in the shallow left field. Sanchez will make the catch for out number 1, but that one took 7 pitches to complete the out. And so Bednar's stamina is going to be an issue here. Boom, 0 for 4 today. That one inside, as the right fielder Davis will make the catch. Basically didn't have to move at all. 2 away. Quick at bat there, as Nolan Jones 0 for 1 today. Guess he had a couple of walks. That one's going to hit him, and so he'll get on base without having to swing the bat much today to face Gallo. And I think we're going to go to Will Klein to try to get the strikeout here. Says he's nowhere close to me out of gas, but I disagree, as Klein will come in. Full count to Gallo, as that one hit out towards the first base line. Newman will make the catch. And so the Pirates, 3 more outs to get at least 3 runs here. Have to do it against the very talented Edwin Diaz. 75 Ks and just 43 and a third so far this year, facing Lolo Sanchez. And then Tucker and Barrera. 2-2 count to Sanchez. Diaz, one of the best closers in baseball. Sanchez will hit that to short for out number 1. Not looking good for your Pirates right now. Cole Tucker, 1-1 count. As he will give that a ride to right center. Marsh going back, and he'll make the catch a couple of feet in front of the track for the second out. And I'm gonna put Jonah Heim in the game to replace Barrera. Less of a likely option to strike out here, but still decent chance given the gas that Diaz throws. 3-1 count to Heim. And really didn't want to have the green light on there. He'll swing it and pop up. And the Pirates will drop this one 5-2 against Milwaukee. All right, taking a quick look at the box score. Milwaukee beats Pittsburgh 5-2. Brewers go to 55 and 56 on the season. Pirates drop to 55 and 53. Brewers 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Pirates just 2 runs, which both came in the bottom of the first on 9 hits and 1 error. That was by Enrique Bradfield. For Milwaukee, it was Marsh with 2 hits, same with Yelich, Navarez, and Barreto. RBIs came from Barreto and Marsh. For Pittsburgh, Newman and Hayes both had 2 hits, but not a whole lot going for the bat today. Ordonez did have his number 36 home run of the season. That was probably the highlight for Pittsburgh's bats. For Milwaukee, Boyd got off to a tough start for them, but settled in pretty nicely. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 4 Ks for him. He'll pick up win number 6 on the year. Edwin Diaz gets his 24th save of 2024. Carlos Vargas, probably not his best outing as a Pirate, but still pretty good overall. Labored a bit, 4 innings to 85 pitches, but struck out 5. Only allowed 2 earned runs. Trey Riley and Chris Clark allowing runs out of the bullpen, so that is the story there. Brandon Marsh, your player of the game in this one. So we'll come back here. If we make a big playoff run, I might do a video before that, or we'll just come back with an end of season wrap up if we don't get really competitive down the stretch. But we, of course, are still in it, just 3.5 out of the Central and 1.5 out of that second wild card spot. So keep your fingers crossed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this team and what we should do down the stretch. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you soon.